to be in this room and have anything on eye level, so you get kneeling instead. So, introduction. Living in Arizona, heat is a constant threat. People die every year from dehydration and heat stroke. Just existing here, we're exposed to the risk of heat illnesses and the lifelong consequences or death that can occur with that. So, my credibility on this, I've done basic research, I've had heat exhaustion many times, and I know what not to do. So, take that as you will. In this, we'll go over what heat illnesses are, why they happen, how to avoid them, and how to treat them. So, what are heat illnesses? The reason why they happen is because mammals produce body heat. Being in a desert, though, you absorb heat just by existing, and if your body temperature gets too high, a typical range is 97 to 99 degrees, but if it gets too high, your body will just start having a meltdown and die. According to an article on temperature regulation by pdhpe.net, the four temperature regulation mechanisms are evaporation, convection, conduction, and radiation. Evaporation is the biggest one. Sweating dissipates body heat. Your body takes internal temperature, puts it into water, and evaporates into the air. Problem is, that doesn't happen in humidity. Not as much of a risk here, but it costs you water and salt. Without water, you can't sweat, and without salt, your synapses will not conduct electricity and your brain will just shut down. So, how do you identify heat illnesses? They come in three basic stages. First is mild stages like heat cramps or sweat rashes. These are generally from exertion, a bit too high of a body temperature, and dehydration. They're generally a warning sign that you're about to have a bad time, but they're not deathly. Heat exhaustion is where it gets fun. Heat exhaustion happens when you don't have enough salt and water in your system and your body starts to struggle to maintain a steady temperature. Signs of this are paleness, nausea, headache, fatigue, and faintness. Uh, Paleness can vary, but is usually standard. Uh, oh my god. Heat stroke is when your body is unable to regulate its body temperature. No salt, no water, and you cannot regulate your own temperature. The biggest signs of this are your brain starts to get haywire and you can't think straight, or you enter a delirious state and you stop sweating. If you stop sweating, you have heat stroke. You need to go to a hospital. All the same signs of heat exhaustion, but no sweating and your brain starts to get wacky. So, oh, I forgot to cite. I'm taking all this from heat-related illnesses, the heat-related illnesses page on Johns Hopkins Medicine's website. I don't have it pulled up. It'll be in the bibliography. I'll link that in the video. So, now that you know what heat illnesses are, how do you avoid them? Biggest things are to drink water and preserve salts in your body. Without salt, your brain doesn't work. Without water, you can't sweat and maintain temperature. So don't be dehydrated. As well, it's good to avoid like humid weather, go out early, and try and go out when it's windy or cool, but I have a dog. I understand that's not always possible, so, you know, try if you can, but if not, it's not the end of the world. According to an article in Nature called Why Do Bedouins Wear Black Robes in Hot Deserts? The Bedouins are a culture of people who live in like the Saharan desert to Arabian desert range, and they like Arizona temperatures, but they wear head to toe robes, uh, and they manage to survive. The way they do this is by having very loose and flowy clothing, lots of airflow, and as well out of natural fiber textiles. According to an article by a page by Meridian Millhouse called "Types of Fibers: Natural versus Synthetic." Natural fibers are like cotton, linen, or silk are much better at conducting, or I should say, um, I can't think of the word. They stop heat from going into you, but natural fiber textiles are very breathable and moisture absorbent, and they dissipate heat. That's the word. So, loose flowy clothes, drink natural fibers, drink water, and preserve salts. God, this is a mess. So, how do you treat heat illnesses if or when you get them? Biggest thing is to drop what you're doing immediately and go to a cold area. If you can't manage cold, at least do shady. Uh, Start taking off layers of clothing, get airflow over your body, fan your shirt like this. Just start doing something to lower your temperature, because if you don't start actively lowering it, your body will continue to increase in temperature and you will die. So another thing you can do is get cold towels or ice packs. Good places for ice packs are armpits or groin because there's a lot of blood flow, and that'll cool you down. But if it's major, take a cold shower. Just sit under cold water and let that just get the heat out of your body. If you have heat stroke, go to a hospital. It is a medical emergency and you can die very easily. Go to a hospital. So, conclusion, because this is getting long. Heat illnesses can be dangerous. They can have lifelong consequences or even death. But they're not the end of the world. They're avoidable, as we've seen, and they can be treated even if you do get them. So be aware, stay hydrated, and as the funny visual element says, all of your problems are because you are not drinking enough water. Drink water. Goodbye.